Hi, this is Dan White. Now we're going to show you how to create a brand new model from scratch using the RPU Developer Suite. So we're going to start with a brand new MATLAB session. Then we need to create a new project folder. We'll just call this Blinky. So we're creating a new Simulink model. We'll save this as Blinky. So first we're going to drop a LHP RPU target definition block from the LHP RPU Developer Suite. Now this target definition block, you can set the target, the bit file, and the IP address of the target device. Yeah, you don't need to transfer the bit file in compilation here because the auto deploy feature will handle that. And clicking OK generates the M file. If we look in the folder, you can see what it generated. Okay, so now we have to drop our XCP block. It's already configured for the IP address of this device. So now we can go ahead and grab a FPGA write block because we want to write to an output on our device. So in this case, we're going to choose a register name for the LED 0 because we want to blink a light. In this case, we know it's called TTL out DO0 because it's on channel digital output 0. Now we're going to drop the LHP oscillator block, which will toggle a Boolean every time it executes. And we can use this to blink the light. Now we're going to want to see the output of this, right? So we're going to want to put a test point and name that wire. And that way we can make sure we can see it in our calibration tool by clicking on the Add Test Point. And we want to save this as a subsystem. And we can name that. Now if we want to add a trigger block so that we can, and then we configure it to run whenever the function is called. So this way it'll execute every time the function is called. Then we grab a time trigger. And this will force this to execute. This is set up for every 5 milliseconds. And then that'll cause that function to trigger every 5 milliseconds. So this model is done. We could build and deploy it as it is, and it would blink the light at a 200 hertz rate. But that's not very interesting. What if we wanted to control the blink rate? So now we'll show you how to do that. So we're going to turn this into a subsystem. Make it so that it can trigger on every time it's called. And then we want to add our downsampler. So this is an LHP provided block. And we want to add a constant to set the rate, the multiplier rate that's going to go into our downsampler. Let's go ahead and set that constant for 200. Now let's name that constant, and this way we'll be able to calibrate it later in our calibration tool. Now we can save this model and build it. When the build is complete, it will automatically deploy if the target hardware is connected. And this will immediately start blinking the light. You can look at the progress of the build on the diagnostic viewer. And it's blinking. So what we've just created here is a very simple model to blink the light. The 200 fed into the downsampler provides, that's 200 times 5 milliseconds, so that's a 1 second on and 1 second off blink rate. So as you can see, it's very easy to create your own models using our RPU block set.